Several Kentucky communities on alert today, watching for rising water after repeat rounds of rain.
And the heaviest rains of the entire week are now pushing into the region. We'll track those just ahead.
And cleanup begins after a deadly tornado outbreak sweeps through Texas.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. I'm Amber Philpott. Jennifer has the day off. It is another rainy day out there. Take a look. This is a live look now at our downtown Lexington at Center Point from our Landrum and Schaus camera. We want to check in first this afternoon with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey, who is tracking the showers. More and more rain, Chris.
Yeah, a lot of rain coming in. I think many areas over the next 3 or 4 hours, Amber, may pick up an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain, and with a waterlogged ground out there, it's not going to take long before we see some additional high water issues. Flash flood watch out for most of central Kentucky. No idea why this hasn't been expanded to the east. You've had some flooding rains here. Anyone fair game for some flooding. Look at your Defender radar network as of now, coming at us in waves, where you see the oranges, the reds really coming down. We'll focus on northern Scott County over into Harrison County. We had flooding last night into parts of Harrison County around the Cynthiana area. You know what? With additional heavy rain coming into town, it's not going to take long before those same creeks and streams are out of their banks. Heavy rain from Paris down to Winchester across the Lexington area as of now. That initial band of heavy rain has moved through the Masterson Station area. Band of some heavier downpours right now across South Elkhorn down toward the Fayette Mall area and into the Heartland neighborhood. And the farther east that we go toward Jacobson Park, Polo Club Boulevard, Hamburg Pavilion, heavier downpours continue here. A little trip down Interstate 75 toward Richmond and Berea. Heavy rains east there on 52 into sections of Estill County. Heavy rain on top of Mount Vernon. Look, though, what is coming in from the west and southwest. Columbia, Campbellsville, over toward E-Town. That's another quick inch of rain that is on pace now across much of central and eastern Kentucky. Watch the future radar quickly and notice how that initial band comes through. Then by 8, 9 o'clock or so, we see another little band of some thunderstorms try to pop right along our cold front. So it is waves of heavy rain coming at us over the next several hours. Amber, over the past week, some areas of central and eastern Kentucky have picked up greater than 6 inches of rain. We may pick up an additional inch or 2 this evening. If you get an inch or 2 of water where you live, you're going to have some more flooding. And, of course, we'll be all over it and keep you up to date on it.
We are waterlogged for sure. Chris, thank you. All the rain that we have seen over the past few days is causing high water issues in parts of the Bluegrass. In Nicholas County, the Licking River is causing problems on roads there. As WKYT's Mike Linden reports in our top story, while some of that high water is receding, there is still cause for concern.
With the rain still coming down in the Bluegrass, a flood warning goes into effect for the Licking River later this evening for Harrison, Nicholas, and Robertson counties.
Following days of consistent heavy rain in the Bluegrass, high water issues continue to be a major concern. In Nicholas County, officials say they're closely monitoring the Licking River, which is nearing flood stage. They say with another round of heavy rain into Tuesday morning, the river could experience minor flooding. While the river may rise out of its banks, Judge Executive Mike Pryor says the flooding should pose no danger to people living nearby.
We don't have very many homes that lay close enough to the river that they're affected. It's probably count on your hand, on one hand, how many homes that we could have affected when we have a fairly severe flood.
While county officials say that flooding is their #1 priority right now, they say later in the week, once the rain subsides and temperatures drop, that they'll switch over into worrying about winter, as they say they already have salt ready to go just in case. In Nicholas County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Cleanup is underway in parts of North Texas after a powerful storm system spawned tornadoes across that region. 11 people were killed in the Dallas area. The storm system is being blamed for 24 deaths from Texas up through the Midwest. Sonia Mogi shows us how people in Texas are now trying to recover.
It was more than 80 degrees in parts of North Texas when tornadoes ripped through. Now residents face cleaning up in the snow. From twisters and flooding to heavy snow, a brutal storm system stretching from New Mexico to the Midwest will just not release its grip. This man in Ellis County, Texas, didn't mind cleaning up after a tornado barreled through. To Jordan Hinton, it's proof he's alive.
It was like a movie. I mean, I was running towards my closet and the doors and everything started caving in.
In the Midwest, the system brought heavy flooding over the weekend, forcing a partial closure of I-70 in Missouri. Several people were killed by the floodwaters, including a group of international soldiers who were at Fort Leonard Wood for training.
It's a small, dark highway. It was raining very hard. It was 8:22. It was dark at nighttime. They probably did not know what hit them.
Back in North Texas, as the death toll from the storm system mounts, survivors say life has a new meaning.
This has made me realize how fragile life is, you know? But try to do better.
In Garland, Texas, I'm Sonia Mogi.
New Mexico has declared a state of emergency, and the National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning for parts of Missouri, including St. Louis. We are working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Digg joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. A man charged in a hit-and-run crash that left 3 people with critical to serious injuries went before a judge this afternoon. Asil Iraola entered a not guilty plea to charges of driving under the influence, leaving the scene of an accident, and 3 counts of assault. Police say he ran his car up onto the sidewalk near Midland Avenue and Winchester Road, hitting 3 people. Coming up at 5, we'll tell you what we're learning about the suspect. We're hearing reaction today to the deaths of a Kentucky family of 5 killed in floodwaters in Illinois. They were traveling to Minnesota at the time. The Marion County, Illinois coroner says that 3 adults and 2 children were in their car when the floodwaters swept them away near Patoka, about 60 miles east of St. Louis. The coroner has not yet released their names, but we have learned that all of the victims are from Todd County. And some cleanup underway at a Lexington home after a car crashed into a garage. Police tell us a young driver may have been going a little too fast when he tried to make a turn on Chambly Lane near Rosa Parks Elementary. The car spun into a garage. There were people inside the home, but they were not hurt, and neither was the driver. That's a quick look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. A grand jury has decided not to indict 2 Cleveland policemen in the deadly shooting of a 12-year-old boy. That decision was announced a little more than an hour ago. Patrolman Timothy Lohman fatally shot Tamir Rice within 2 seconds of a police cruiser driven by Frank Garmbach skidding to a stop near the boy in November of 2014. Video of the shooting captured by a surveillance camera provoked outrage nationally and made Tamir a central figure in a protest movement over police killings. Protesters marched to Chicago City Hall today demanding that embattled Mayor Rahm Emanuel resign. The protests are following the deaths of 2 people shot and killed by Chicago police. Police say they were responding to reports of a teen threatening his father with a bat Saturday morning. Authorities say the teen was shot as he was charging down the stairs with the bat. Police say a neighbor in an apartment below, 55-year-old Betty Jones, was accidentally struck and tragically killed. While Jones' family says they want answers about what happened, they're also calling for the community to come together peacefully.
We have our fair share of problems, be it police problems, crime and poverty. But I just feel like right now is not a time for hatred. Right now is not a time for throwing stones at people. Right now is an opportunity for us to get past this difficult time together.
The officer who fired the shots is on administrative duty pending an investigation. The shootings are the latest scandal engulfing Chicago's police force. The U.S. Justice Department is now investigating whether Chicago police are making a habit of violating the law. The Transportation Security Administration is increasing random checks of airport and airline employees. The decision follows instances in which employees use restricted entrances to smuggle guns and launder money. It's also part of a larger push to increase airport security after the Paris terrorist attacks and the crash of a Russian jet believed to have been brought down by a bomb.